Greeting and salutation to everybody. How's it going out there in YouTube land or whatever, wherever you happen to be today? This is Rick Koppel coming at you from Denver, Colorado, and I've got an interesting distro to review today called Spiral Linux. Put out by the same guy that put out Gecko Linux, basically. Except this one, Debian-based distribution. Another Debian-based distribution, you say, huh? You really need another Debian-based distribution? Well, a question we're going to answer today, I think, or something similar to that. Anyway, I'm hoping to give some time to talk toward the end of the show today after we review the Linux, Spiral Linux. Excuse me for my voice. I seem to have stuff in my throat. Maybe that'll help. So anyway, any rate, I have some interesting information to give you before we get started on that, though. One, we got my new book out. Get a copy of it. Dragon Within. The Dragon Within. Legend Dragon Downfield. Yeah, so only problem with it, I've noticed that I need to see if I can correct or figure out how to correct is that all the italic D's are replaced by a dot. How that happened. Probably some in the way that italics does the coding. Anyway, I don't know why they did that, but it does. So, gotta figure that out. Re-upload a copy of it, or a fresh copy of it. There's a couple of spelling errors there I found too that I need to correct as well. So it'll give me a chance to do that too. Excuse me starting out. I'm having my voice issues today. Hopefully it'll come across clear and concise. Let's see. Hopefully it's coming across fine. Nobody's joined yet. Tell me I'm good or not. So let me check on some real quick. You're going to see something weird here in a minute, I think, but at any rate. Some OBS streams. Yeah, see, it shows I'm getting voice coming out loud and clear, so I'm good there, I think. Until somebody else joins me, I won't know about the rest of it, so find out. So, at any rate, last time we did Gecko Linux, I did a review of that a while back, too. It seemed like I remember that I had the dev for Gecko Linux on here. I don't know if he's going to show up today or not for this one too, or if he even knows about it. He knew about the other one about Gecko apparently, so who knows? Who knows? So we have that, and we have let's see. Oh, my coffee. What kind of coffee do I have? Well, today is just a standard French roast coffee. I don't know what type of coffee it is exactly. It's not my favorite type of coffee, but there you go. That's part of the problem with that. Anyway, I got sugar and creamer in it to help cut the bitterness of it, so to speak. I was on my favorite. I didn't have time. I was going to roast some coffee yesterday. I didn't have time. So there you go. Oh, Spiral Linux Creator here. How's it going, Rick? I did. You found me. All right. That's cool. Yeah, you can jump in on the Zoom chat if you want, or you can just stay in the chat, whichever you prefer. And then you can help guide me through any issues or features you want to display and that kind of thing. So you're welcome to do that if you want to. So yeah, Zoom link should be up in the just above you where you said I did on the screen. So welcome. I can't remember exactly what your name is though. Yeah, I didn't see it in the website and stuff like that. So okay. It says probably just stay here. Thanks. Cool. Yeah, and let me remind me what your name is when you get a chance there. So anyway, we got Spiral Linux today, and might as well get into it. Now I'm not going to show the actual install of it because the install was pretty easy. I mean, real easy. It was just answered standard calamars and questions, and next thing you know, boom. Sam. Good to know you, Sam. I'll try to remember that next time you put out another distro. That review. Anyway, we have let's see. We have Storm OS. No, that's not Storm OS. That was last week's review, which was pretty nice review actually. This is Spiral Linux. And so I got it up on my other computer. We'll go over and take a peek at it and see what we got. Before we do that, we're going to the website though and answer the question. Got a little nap line around here. I don't know what it's doing anyway. Yeah, in live stream you get all these weird convoluted things happening. Anyway, we're going to go over there and check out the website, and then we'll go check out the distro itself. Okay. There I am, and here we are. This is my desktop MX Linux on my framework laptop, in case you're wondering why it doesn't look anything like Spiral Linux. It says MX Linux. That's why. So we're going to go over there. Here we have Spiral Linux website, spirallinux.github.io, and it says Linux faster than a snail. I don't know how good that is, but we'll find out, won't we? It's actually pretty quick. It's a lot faster than a snail, actually, if you think snails are slow. So anyway, downloads. Obviously, you can go here to downloads, but we're going to come down here because one of the questions asked, Spiral Linux is a selection of Linux spins built from Debian, GUI, GNU Linux with a focus on simplicity and out-of-the-box usability across all the major desktop environments. Spiral Linux serves as an alternate live installation method for a highly reliable, customized Debian system using only official Debian package repositories. That's the unique thing I found out about this, is that you just have these repositories that are all Debian based. And you have Spiral Linux features, it does all the stuff. Now, here's a question where you want, why another Debian-based distro? There's a lot of them out there. We reviewed StormOS, which is StormOS D, which is a pretty good distro, and I got it installed on my Acer laptop over here too. So, great question. Glad you agree, Sam. Debian does an excellent job providing the fundamentals needed for a highly reliable and flexible operating system. However, it is a sprawling and impersonal organization and does not focus on being friendly for the end user. So, a plethora of Debian-based distributions have arisen with the objective of adding a layer of polish, albeit with varying degrees of success. Most of the efforts depend on a single developer. Smaller developers with far fewer resources than the official Debian product. Now, it's one of the things I've always heard about these Debian distributions is that usually they're one-man shows. A lot of them are, including this one actually, Sam. So, yeah, so you have this one-man distro, and one of the issues is that a lot of distros have a they usually have their own repositories a lot of times that they add and have to keep up to date and all that kind of stuff. Well, this one's completely Debian-based repositories. No unique Spiral Linux repositories attached to it. So that if he heals off or dies or whatever, or it gets in the hospital for a month or 2 or 3, you can continue to use this without any problem. And because it's all updated by Debian, so it's actually had the whole Debian project team at your disposal for all support and all that kind of stuff. So that's cool. So yeah, you lose the one-man distribution type thing. That if what happens with the distribution, one man goes out. In this case, you just keep using it forever until Debian dies off. That's pretty cool, actually. So, but it also has a lot of other user-friendly. Debian self-rises base is capable of being very user-friendly when properly configured. That's an issue, is a lot of people don't configure it properly, or other things like that. It says great effort is being spent in polishing the Spiral Linux default configuration for all the major desktop environments using packages and mechanisms that Debian itself provides. So in effect, Spiral Linux installation is actually a legitimate Debian installation that can be infinitely upgraded from the official Debian repositories while retaining unique Spiral Linux configuration. Here's where you download it down here. Assume the download button will take you right down here if you want. Let's test that out real quick. So you hit download and zoom straight down to here where we just were. Cool. So yeah. So you have all these desktops you can choose Spiral Linux from. Cinnamon, XFCE, GNOME, Plasma, Mate, Bungie, and LXQT, as well as a builder, which I assume means more like a net installer if I'm not mistaken, where you can download different other things and stuff like that. I don't know. Build your own Debian-based distribution out of it. Snail paste, apparently. So, yeah. So anyway, let's see. So what I did is I first downloaded the GNOME version, and I don't have that one on there anymore because I overwrote it with the Bungie version. Downloaded Bungie version, so I did GNOME and Bungie basically. Bungie was interesting because we experimented with this on Bungie version, but the GNOME version I downloaded, I turned on the testing repository in there, and I was able to download Nala in place. It's an apt wrapper basically. Then that was cool. And I also, when I updated it, updated to 43, GNOME 43. So you get GNOME 43 on here if you want. Pretty cool. That was good. So we'll try that out with the Bungie version, see what we get on that. May not be GNOME 43, but we'll get something Bungie 43 or whatever. So, but you have all these desktops you can choose from. XFC is one I use frequently. Cinnamon I used to use a lot, so I kind of know that one pretty much. Mate I've used a couple of times on some installs, so I'm not as familiar with that one. And then Bungie I've used several times, and LXQT is one I started out on actually, but it wasn't LXQT, it was LXDE, which is a precursor to LXQT, and it's the old Ubuntu version that I had back in 2010, I think it was, when I installed that first time. And GNOME, I'm really not a big GNOME fan, but if you have it, and you got Plasma, I haven't tested that one out. So I know Plasma real well, I know XFC real well, I know Cinnamon pretty well, and Bungie decently well, and Spiral Linux, LXQT I know pretty well. It's been a while since I've played around with that much. So anyway, that's the whole deal there. And let's see, you hit download and it takes the source for directory. So on Plasma, you just hit download like that. And next thing you know, you go boom. You save it to wherever you want to put it. And you have downloaded all these. Download it to wherever you want it to go, and there you go. We're going to hit cancel because I already got 2 I want, basically. which I have in here somewhere. Spiraling spongy right there. I think I must delete it out the known version. So now I'll go take a look at the distro, huh? There we are. We're now on my distro now. I've updated this before, and I've also added some features to it myself. Some of my programs I use a lot, like a I've got a barrier running on here, so I can use my mouse everywhere. Probably get mixed up here where I put my mouse, but it's up here. Right now it's right up here on the Spiral Linux desktop. This is a standard. Yeah, I ought to show you how to get some more backgrounds on this, because basically your backgrounds are basically the well, as you'd expect for might be customized here. I guess you gotta go to Bungie stuff. We'll look at this first. We'll get to that one, find it, I guess. So here we have accessories. Now, this is your standard. Now they really pieced together some interesting combination of a thing. Yeah, that's one thing I forgot about to mention is dock. Yeah, Sam asked, did you hide the bottom dock, or is it your screen captured clip in? And I basically took out the dock because I'm not a big dock fan, so I customized it, but I'll put it back and so you can see what it looks like. Should have thought to do that before the show started, but I forgot. So when we get to that part, I'll put it back. Matter of fact, I think it's just panel. No. It asked me with Budgie. Okay, no problem. Yeah, it's basically when it comes out pre-installed with a dock on it. So, yeah, so if you like docks, that's great. If you don't, you can easily take it out. I forgot what I did to take it out, but I can find it eventually and put it back if you want to see what it looks like. Administration. Now one of the things that's interesting is this has like Catfish, which is a XFC type version file system. You also have Files, which is not GNOME file manager. It's not Nautilus, it's Nemo. And you can't tell when you look at it there. It looks very Nemo-ish, doesn't it? You have to help. About Nemo 4.8.6. So yeah. So you got that. And it's got firmware. I guess that would probably be if you had like some special need, like an NVIDIA driver, stuff like that. And then the top panel sidebar. Okay. Yeah, I think you also get Bungie configuration. It's in Bungie down here in System Tools. Right to there. You want to get it. Then from there. Or you can go over here, like you're saying. Pop open there, and I guess somewhere there. Not sure anyway. Top of that's right. Basically, I'd erase the bottom panel. So if you want to create a new panel, then you add applets. And I assume one of the applets would be Caffeine. There's applets you can put in your panels. And take a break, huh? Test this trash. A lot of applets that they have in here. Use one of them probably the doctor. I don't know man, just let us know what what dock you use, if it's a latte dock or what's that one? Can't remember the name of it now. Yeah, it's one Storm Linux uses as well. I have it on Storm and I haven't taken it off yet. I haven't gone to the trouble to find out. I just ran across this. Oh, I can take it out by taking out the bottom panel. Bump. So anyway, yeah, you see the bottom panel down there. Anyway. Yeah, I think to get it out, I just used remove panel. And then it goes away. Well, over here, might as well check out these other things too, huh? See, Plank, that's right, Plank Dock. That's what I thought it was, but I couldn't remember the name of it for some reason. Plank Dock. Hi, Joseph, how you doing? Joseph showed up, and so we have Sam and Joseph in here right now. Plank is what I was trying to remember, yeah, so. Anyway, we have widgets, numerics. Is appearance, windows, decoration, controls, icons, cursors, notification position, dark theme, which I like a lot, so I turned it on. It actually defaulted off out of the box, if I remember correctly. Cinnamon is a resource hog, but very stable. KD Plasma is extremely flexible, but can be a bit unstable at times depending on the distro, says Joseph. True, I've experienced both of those in my thing. Now Cinnamon does if you like have the less memory you have, Cinnamon like KDE does, it does shrink its resources needs and stuff like that. But yeah, my little test, my most popular video on my channel so far, it's been my KDE versus Cinnamon desktop. So yeah, you can check that out and see what I found out about those things. So let's see, dark theme. Yeah, I think this came off. These were checked in. This one was off. So I turned it on because I like dark theme because my eyes water and all stuff. I cry all the time. Actually, I do cry quite a bit. It's just a result of the DBS basically. So everybody thinks I'm crying like, my eyes water, but I also have dry eyes, so that doesn't help either. So there you go. And you have desktop. And you got all the desktop things, active mount, home directory, trash, all those are turned off by default. Click policy is double by default. Document size, number of virtual desktops, you increase your desktops there. Fonts, there's your font selections and your size, text scaling and all that good stuff. There's Raven. Yeah, Sim is heavy on GPU, so yeah, anytime you throw it into your virtual machine, you're reminded of that because it always says software rendering enabled. So there's Raven. Raven is a little dock that I just popped out a while ago. Well, these are turned on. I didn't change any of these here, so that's how it looks by default. Shows calendar widgets, shows output, sound output widgets, and all that kind of good stuff. Show power strip. We have Windows. And interesting things. And new Windows screen button layout. If you want your buttons, if you're coming from Apple, you want your buttons on the left layout, you just go over here and click that. Change the left. All of a sudden, buttons appear over on the left side. Oh yeah, over here, right here. I personally, I'm used to Windows. Never used Apple products, so I prefer them over there. Just a matter of preference, I guess. So yeah, so then here's your auto start. It's kind of an odd thing to put here, but yeah, so there. So as I started my barrier, so barrier starts up automatically when I log in. And you also have Bungie Desktop View, Nemo Desktop, HP, System Tray Services, and GNOME Software. There's that. Now, let's see, I think all these other lines are pretty standard. Text editor, Wall Street. I'm not sure what Wall Street control is. Seemed like I tested that one time for what it was. Change interval. Oh, I see. Use default wallpapers. Screen lock screen. This is your wallpaper, Wall Street. Get it? Ha ha ha. Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah. Sam says, yeah, mainly in VMs with software rendering on real hardware. It doesn't use much CPU. And Joseph says, I'm using Kubuntu 22.04 and love it. So far being a KD user for 2 years now. Yeah, I switched. Actually, that was the second desktop top I tried. I mean, the second distro I tried was Kubuntu. I used Ubuntu for 6 years. And then I finally decided to try Xubuntu. No, Xubuntu is what I tried, not Kubuntu. K's the KD version. Xubuntu is what I tried second time. And so it's the second desktop. And then I tried Cinnamon after that on Linux Mint, and I loved it. I love that desktop. Used it for a long time too. Now I've got everything under the sun on my computers here. I've got Raspberry Pi on my Raspberry Pi. I've got a Twister OS over here. On my Acer, I've got Storm D. On this one, I'm good. We're well warm right now. I've got obviously Spiral Linux. On my framework, I've got MX Linux. So I think I got one of the funny things was I had like 10 computers in my house, and apparently that's slow for a lot of people on the Linux Loon list. So, yeah, so I was yeah, so Joseph is a KDE music user for 2 years. He says Linux Cinnamon was my first Linux distro 4 years ago. Joseph says. That's cool. So you can get pretty much any desktop you want on here, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, within reason, of course, there's some desktops aren't represented here, but you can't put everything in here. It'd be too much. I mean, you throw too many choices at people, they're going to keel over and go, oh, which one do I pick? Oh, no. Unless they've already experienced them. So, yeah. Let's see, we have... Oh, yeah, we got to show desktops, don't we? And I think the appearance... I don't think it's in preferences, is it? Applications. Open software. That's software type thing. Software installer. So there you go. I'll just go through this list and I'll tell you what I've got on here and what I installed after the fact. So this is all pretty much standard out of the box stuff that comes with it. And it's your main administration, graphics. Yeah, it's all standard there, out of the box. Internet, I installed LibreWolf myself. Everything else there is out of the box. Office, it's all out of the box there. That's what's installed. I didn't install a ton of stuff on here, but I installed a little bit. And then you got your print settings, Snapper GUI root, and language support, which I was all out of the box there. Preferences, those are all out of the box. Where's the sound and video? Yeah, it's all stuff installed out. I only installed the things I needed on here, really. And Kitty I installed. It comes with HTOP though out of the box, as well as all the rest of them, I think. Yeah, pretty much out of the box. All these are out of the box except for Kitty. Kitty I installed because I like to use Kitty. System tools. Utilities. And all that's out of the box pretty much too that I'm aware of. Yeah, so that's all the different programs you have on here. Good selection. I mean, you can get along and see Office, Internet. Yeah, it even has Thunderbird, so if you want to use that for email, you can use that for email. Or you can install your own email client if you like one of the other ones. And that's cool. Now let's see. Okay. Joseph says he's used Arch on KD for about a year. Rolling nature of the distro does not cut it anymore because it's being more unstable these days. Yeah, I've had mixed results with Arch, to tell you the truth. I mean, some people can run it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years without any problems. Other people seem to have more trouble. I seem to have more trouble. But part of that was due to I installed Garuda Linux on my son's desktop, or his desktop for a while, or his laptop, his gaming laptop. And he he had problems with it after a while because he never updated anything. He doesn't know how to update unless he's used to Windows. It's automatically forcing him to update stuff. So he got on Garuda Linux and he just never updated it. So I came here and said, have you updated Sage at all? No. So I updated it and it broke. Yeah, that's what happens sometimes. But yeah, and there's a lot of other rolling. I mean, you can use let's see, was it? I can't remember what the name of it is now. The distro that that is Arch based, but it starts with an M, I think. Can't think. My brain's locked into it. I can't think of. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, I've gotten it pretty cool. So I think where are you going to get backgrounds here? I don't know. Is that up? Did I miss it? Oops. Manjaro, yes, thank you, Manjaro. I cannot think of that name at all. Manjaro is one that it actually they do a good job of uh, of kind of filtering out some of the issues with Arch while being Arch, that kind of thing. Most of what I use on here is is Debian versions of stuff mostly. And yeah, one of the problems with getting, that's one thing I'm going to show you in a minute here, but preferences. Let's go to settings. I know it's probably no results found. Yeah, I don't know what's going here. Settings should have, what's application, that's what it is. Doesn't find any applications. I don't know if that's a bug in the system or what, Sam, but yeah, it doesn't show any application when I go here. No results found. I don't know if I need to repopulate or open in software or what. So, yeah, and I don't think they have backgrounds. There it is. Now these are standard Debian backgrounds. If you want to add pictures, you can add them through here. You're probably going to want to. If you want anything fancy or cool. I have a whole slew of ones I've saved from Linux Mint. Has some good ones. So I've saved those. I also have some other ones of my own pictures I've taken. Things like that. Yeah, open software, I guess. Possibly. I can try that and see if it works. So anyway, this is the select a picture. And you can choose pictures in your directory. You can go down here to home and investigate other places. But usually I put my own personal backgrounds put in my pictures directory, so it's easy to find. But you can go to the locations on the computer. You can go down here to user. You won't remember all this probably, but share and applicate backgrounds. It should have all the Ubuntu desktop backgrounds that we listed. Yeah. I don't know if they're any in here. Layouts, nope. Anyway, there's usually a background directory in here or a wallpaper directory where those wallpapers reside, the default wallpapers. Anyway, you do that if you want. You go wherever you want to in this. So I'm just going to cancel this for now. Haven't taken the time to install any wallpapers on here, but I can show you how to do it pretty quick. Yeah, let's do that. So anyway, notification search, application privacy, just where you find your locked screen in case you want to turn that off or on. I think that's one thing I did is I made sure that was turned off so I didn't have it kill out on me when I was in the middle of doing stuff. And you also want to go to your power and turn that settings as to how you like it too. I left a dim screen, but it never blinks screen. And there's sound and sharing online accounts, power, and there's also about down here, which gives you the details. This is my Dell Optiplex, so I call it Dello. And it's got 8 gigs of memory basically. It's got a processor. It's i5 3470. The 4 CPUs operating at 3.2 megahertz or gigahertz basically. And we have Intel graphics card. Disk capacity is 256 gigs. Here's OS name Debian GNU Linux 11. And OS type is 64-bit, GNOME versions 3.38.5, Windows Systems X11, and software updates are right there. Probably need to go over software updates a little bit at least. So, yeah, I usually use a lot more key bindings, which you can also find in there under keyboard, I believe, in there. So let's see. We'll look at HTOP real quick. Okay. It's using about 752 megs of memory out of 8 gigs, so that's pretty good. Not bad at all. Anything under 1 gigabyte in my book is pretty good for most of these. Most of these are getting it down pretty low on the totem pole nowadays. And let's see. What are comments we have here? We have a lot of comments. Sam says, now here there is a bug. It actually won't change the backgrounds there. I need to look into why it doesn't work. Need to open the image to an image viewer and set as wallpaper from there. Yeah, it's kind of funny because I don't know, does this work? I think it did, but I don't know if I even attempted. I think I looked down and I decided not to change it. So what he's talking about there is you go back to settings. And get the right spot. And you go back to backgrounds. So say you want to change this one. It changes it up here, but it doesn't change it over here. It should just right when it goes. So what he's saying, if you wanted to go with that, you'd have to go to where they put the wallpapers, which I would assume would be in anti-replay. And we go up here. Open Nemo here, and we'll go down to home. Up here. And user. And share. There's another reason I don't know if this has it on there or not. Layout. I think it's a layout deal. We go down W's. See if it's got wallpaper. There it is, wallpapers. Now here's your interesting. So it looks like these have different screens here. Well, these are all like under separate deals. Space fun. There are no backgrounds basically. Content images. Now when you're in this, you can click it and then save as. Set as wallpaper right there. And it will set it as wallpaper. That's a workaround until you get it. Till you get it how you want it. Till he fixes that problem in it. That's nice. I use this wallpaper for a while because I like spacing, but I'm used to like some really dramatic spacing like Darth Vader and stuff like that. So, yeah. Okay, now here there's a bug. Let's see, Bungie is rather jank. Tried Ubuntu Bungie 22.04 for a couple of months and some updates killed it. Been using Ubuntu ever since. Yeah, Joseph. As Joseph said that. Sam, there it is. Thanks for showing that. You're welcome. yeah, so yeah, wallpapers is usually they put in user share background or user share wallpapers. One of the two is where a lot of wallpapers tend to be. I'm not sure where the default ones on that are, but probably one of the sub screens. So yeah, so you get that. Now let's see. Oh, I was gonna show the other deal. Yeah, we're gonna go down here. Settings. We're gonna go to there's keyboard shortcuts. Keyboard shortcuts are interesting because unlike normal GNOME, which has all these other things there, you have to go to custom shortcuts. This has it all in one long thing with headings. So accessibility there, launchers, search. Now, I did modify these a good bit. If I like to move window to workspace 1, 2, or 3, or 4, I use Super Shift and then the number. And to switch to workspace, I just use Super the number. That's how I've set those up. And sound and media, and then at the very bottom, system, Windows. So yeah, that's another one. I changed Super Q for closing windows. Toggle full screen mode and toggle maximization state. I have those on there. So I wanted to maximize this. I could hit that. Shortcut. I wanted to full screen it. I could hit this shortcut. Toggle, toggle, toggle. Pretty nice. So there's where I added kitty. I put super return on it. So I have to just click this button and you can set name, the command that'll get it and set shortcut, and then you hit add. It'll add it to the list. So we're going to go back up here, application. We're going to try this, see what happens. Open the software. It doesn't have a software catalog downloaded, so it doesn't. I think it's the first time I've actually used this on here. I used it on the GNOME version for a while, just to test it out, but yeah, first time it takes a while for it to load up the catalog and all that kind of stuff. After that, it's a lot faster when you open it up. Waiting. Oh, there it is. Bing. So there's all your stuff. So we'll see if that initialize that. Okay, man, just have to. It's hoping it'll be there, man. Well, it doesn't seem to work. You just have to figure that one out too, huh? So, not that I actually use this function a lot, but time I want to need it, it's time it's not going to be available, right? So, yeah. It's hard to get all these things to work exactly right, isn't it, Sam? So, let's see. I wanted to show my, here's Kitty. And Neopets is installed. Now, this is, yeah, I need to show you that. So, here you got Nala, which I don't have installed on here yet, so no Nala. But if you try to install Nala on here, do a search for it, you're not going to find it. So, let's see, search apt And my finger all the way over. P. App search. Nala. Whoops. Spell it right, it would help. Pull up everything in the sun. What is it about me and the L's? So yeah, see there's no Nala here. It's got all the card tools. Command line tool to manipulate SAM and BAM files. Card tools to manipulate SAM. Yeah, XFC for this is pretty. That's when I use most of my distros actually. XFC. I always try to do something a little different, so that's why I do GNOME, and I used Sam says. Well, Joseph says you should try Spiral Linux FC next. FC is so balanced. It's not even funny. I have to try it because there's certain things I have to do to make XFC work like I want it to out of the box. It's pretty interesting to find out how much it works out of the box for those main menu keys and stuff like that. Yeah, you like if I change them to Super S on closed window and I hit the menu key, then it if I hit Super Q to close the window, it doesn't do anything because the menu key conflicts with the Super Q. Now Super E will bring up a menu, but it won't. It'll also bring up the whole menu too. So you have to escape out of that, and then you can go back to your file manager and do what you want. So that's a lot of interesting thing there. But I'd like to try XFC on this. I think it might be good. I'll try it next probably. So GNOME software does work though, and if you feel like trying to install Flatpak, you can test the Flatpak app theming. Yeah, Samson, you're talking about the Flatpak app theming? Oh, the app theming. Yeah, so I install an app. I think actually I did install Flatpak on here. Let's see. List. Yeah, I've got LibreWolf on here basically. And that's pretty much it. All the rest of these are supporting that, I think. So you got KD, K-style Quantum. And you got, this one I installed basically was this here. Yeah. Yeah, no, normally they don't, but you're saying these do. I have LibreOffice up on this, so we'll look there real quick. There's LibreOffice. I think I have Dark Reader installed on this, so if I go to search like YouTube, so I changed it to dark theming. I got Dark Reader on here to help protect my poor eyes, that kind of thing. There I am, spiraling today's topic. I'm live. So, yeah. And Joseph says XFC looks great on some distros such as Linux Mint, DevOS, and MX Linux. Yeah, and some of them operate. Some of them do the things where they can change it so that it works right. When you do that, it doesn't get in the way on X. Like I think Linux Mint, MX Linux does that. Probably Endeavor does too. I don't know. I have to ask Serban for that. I don't know if he's here. He's sitting in the background watching or whatever, but Yeah, well, some of them do, but some of them I have to put in I have to configure it a certain way, which I've showed on previous videos, so I won't show it again here, but especially I don't have XFC on here right now, but yeah, so I have to, as I showed in the previous video on Storm D or Storm OS, I can't remember which one, but I had an XFC version on that one. Had to install the escape. It's a really small program, but it pops on and it basically will alleviate that problem if you set up right. So anyway, let me look at my previous videos to show how I did that. So Gate Plasma has many more features though. Yes, it does. Joseph said that, and it does have a lot of features. Now I can make FC do pretty much anything I want it to. So I've been pretty know how to finagle it. I mean, I learned a lot when I installed XFC OpenSUSE XFC one time because I did that and it's like a struggle. I was trying to use two screens and I was trying to had to learn how to do this, that, and the other thing, make it work the way I wanted it to with yeah, so it was fun to say the least. But I learned a lot, learned how to make it work like I wanted to most of the time. So. Okay, KDE has a lot more options though, and does have some cool options. I can make it do dynamic tiling on it. I can also do I mean download any number of backgrounds or themes or whatever you want on it, pretty much. So, and Joseph says Plasma Desktop is superior in every way, leaving GNOME in the dust. I have a feeling you probably have some people that disagree with that, but I'm not going to. I'm not a big GNOME fan myself, so yeah, I probably would pick if I had GNOME or KDE pick options. I'd probably pick KDE probably most of the time. So, but XFC, I know how to make it work exactly like I want, so I tend to go that route half the time if I want to. So I want to try the XFC version of Spiral Linux 2 to see what it's like. At any rate, let's see where we're at here. What else do I want to do here? Let's see, I needed to show something. What was it? I think I was going to show some. Oh, I was going to install Neopatch for one thing. And I need to show Software Center. That's what I need to show. And so, anyway, going to install Neopatch on Software Center. Here's how you do it. First, you get out of the terminal. Then you over here to Software and Updates. This isn't quite how I was imagining it. Anyway, this is installed. This is a certain Software and Updates installer. But that wasn't what I was looking for. I could use Synaptic Package Manager to do what I want, but I'm going to showcase the software I did last time. Flatpak Remix. Here we are. should go faster than last time. Now we've done it once. Should go faster. Unless it's a separate program. Might be because it wasn't root. I think first time we did it. This is root. So it's a different thing going on apparently. Yes, it is. Taking by. There it goes. So now we can go up here. Either browse and explore. You go over here and you can do this number. Search for what I wrote and install. Install some. What was I going to install on the sucker? And some of mine. Said a while ago. Well, we'll install some anyway. Let's go with text editors. And I can't type today apparently. So Home Sweet Home 3D Texture Library Editor. HAL lightweight editor with keyboard centric mistake interface. Yeah, interesting. Now let's try macro. That's one that's a good text editor. Micro. Install Microsoft Edge, Microsoft Teams on here. Probably Flatpaks, I'm sure, but they will install, I'm sure. Let's see. Friend. Yes, I can find it. Pretty. Go a different route then. Gedit. That one's already installed. Gedit's installed, so that's how you know if it's installed already. So if you want to go with another text editor, say like Feather. Featherpad. Lightweight Notes Manager. And here, this is Debian stable main source. This Flatpak could have dl.flatpak.com or whatever on there. So let's see what we install. It probably would be Flatpak. We install Teams, I guess. Teams for Linux. Yeah, if you want this proprietary software, it's dlflathub.org. FlatHub is going to download it. Microsoft proprietary warns you. Warning, proprietary. Run away. If you want to, you can install that. Or Zoom. I install Zoom on my stuff, so I'm going to install it here and see how it works. Zoom. It's got Zoom on here. Yeah, Flatpak's really made Debian more usable a lot of times. Now, one thing I was going to show, so if I remember, what I'm going to show you is the kernel version of this distro. Having set it to where you can do things. So yeah, so you can install quite a bit on this thing, and up-to-date software in Flatpaks. That's cool too. Now, one of the things I want to show, and that's why I originally went to here. Your name. Now, I have not set this testing or nothing. 5.18.8-0. That's now that's a high enough kernel on it that I can install it. I remember I think it came out to 5.18 out of the box. So I can install it on my framework if I wanted to, and replace MX Linux with Spiral Linux if I wanted to. It's cool. Not too many Debian distros I've found that I can do that with. Most Debian usually use your long-term LTS, your long-term, I forget what that stands for. My brain not working on all cylinders, damn sorry. Anyway, yeah, so you got that. Teams use their own internal theming except for the system tray icon. It's just a web wrapper, basically. Same thing for Zoom. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big theming person. I don't really notice theming that much. Stuff that matches don't match. I'm not one of those picky people, I guess, in that regard. Anyway, I like the idea that yeah. So if you want to install something on the command line, most people know how to do that, but I like to use Nala specifically. So I'm going to go and set repositories where I want it to be. Yeah. Yeah, MX Linux all version does that. Yeah. Sam says, yes, that's an important feature of Spiral Linux. It uses a Debian backport kernel, makes it more likely to work with much newer hardware. Yeah, I think the long-term support kernel 5.10 won't work on this framework at all. And I got the lowest level i5 11th generation that you can get on it. And so I think I figured out I had to have at least 5.16 for everything to work correctly on my machine. So yeah, that is a kernel. So if you have a machine that's newer, has newer stuff, you can try this one. And it should work right out of the box. If it doesn't, yeah, you can do some. Because the problem with a lot of them have you enable testing, so you can get a more recent kernel, that kind of thing. Problem is that you got to have the kernel on this computer to start out with, otherwise it won't load. It won't do anything. You can't install it if it doesn't come with a 5.18 or 16, at least 16.5.16 kernel out of box. This is 5.18, so it would work on this framework. Maybe that'll help me sound a little better for a while. So what are we getting? Won't work on the framework. It did work on the framework. Oh, Sam said, "Oh, yeah, I've got this mainly on a framework. I've got this on my Dell machine, my testing machine. The Spiral Linux on there, but I got MX Linux on the framework. it will work on the framework as long as you have a 5.16 or greater kernel. So I think this Spiral Linux would work on this framework if I try to install it on here. And I think, I might be wrong, but I think you'd find out when you try to go to live environment on it. Yeah. So I found out early on when I first got this back in December of last year, had it almost a year now, that that I had to have a rolling release at least most of the time on this, or some would install with a kernel out of the box. It was 5.16 or greater. Now it would work on 5.15, but my Bluetooth wouldn't work on it until I got to 5.16 and Bluetooth worked. So go figure. That's a good consideration because I might even try Sparling. Now, upgrading this machine out of Linux Linux when I got a distro on it, it's a little antsy because I have to do it in the right ways because I use the machine every week and for broadcasting, zooming on and stuff like that. So I want something that's going to work pretty good. Linux Linux has proven it does that. But I like the idea of also having a distro that just depends on Debian. That's it, pretty much. So let's take a look at that. That's one thing I want to check out on this. And we go here. Let's see, Windows preferences. Oops, I just clicked the wrong thing and then should we look at this one over here? Debian software, officially supported main, software free dependencies, non-DFG compatible software, non-free. So this is a contrib directories, your contrib repositories, excuse me, and your non-free repositories are added in here, source code. The main, which is main stuff, of course, obviously. So it's all your main stuff. This is main Debian servers, other software. It's got Debian bullseye back ports. That's where the more up-to-date kernel comes from. Fast track VirtualBox. Non-free, is your main contribute non-free here. Bullseye fast track staging. Now these are Debian stable for upgrades. Debian testing, that's what I turned on no one. You do that, it wants to do a lot of updates. So you can see what the update looks like too. You even enable SID if you wanted to. However, I'm just going to enable this one. Like that. Now updates. It says where you updates from. I'm going to check for updates. Never display immediately when there's updates. Those updates, it doesn't do anything. Authentication. Those are all your keys that you have to have for all the various things on there. And developer options right here. Okay, I'm gonna go see if I can get this started. I just want to reload and just want to do software. Since it's installed testing, it's wanting to reload just like doing apt update in the command from the command line basically. And I guess that's it. Now notice up here it's got okay. I'm gonna have to take a break real quick to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. I went to the bathroom before I started the show, but stuff happens, especially when you have Parkinson's disease. So, yeah. Okay, so Bluetooth, Joseph says in Bluetooth 22.04 uses 5.15 LTS. Yeah, 5.15, that would probably work as far as getting it on here. Have to update to 5.16 or greater though to eventually get it on to where my Bluetooth would work on this laptop framework type thing. So, you enable consider testing, you need to disable all the others. Yeah. So, I said I need to do that, so I better do that real quick. Yeah, last time I probably eventually break it, I guess, if I'd left it that way, huh? Then you disable this, and this, huh? Or are you referring to all the other ones? Yeah, Papa S thing does spin their kernel, Joseph. I think it does. I don't remember what it does. It's been a while since I've been on Pop! OS, but I think it does. At least now it does. So I need to disable all those like that, and then I can enable testing as well of the software. Yeah, last time I think I just enabled testing and went with that. Testing those all includes all those things. So I disable backports and all those things too, or do I do something else? Or did I do that right? Guess I should say. I just enabled testing last time and it worked, but yeah, I'm just reading some comments here, trying to figure out which ones. Yeah, Joseph and Sam are talking about creating backports for KD, plasma, and stuff like that. Sam says, please follow these steps. I'm watching. Important information for people to know how to do this right, so they don't script their systems. I've done in the past, I think. I think one time I tried to do the testing system on Debian, installed Debian, and I changed all over testing, and it quickly broke everything. So those steps, please follow those steps. Lee, didn't see it. Yeah, I'm looking for. Well, let's see. Tell you what, I'm just going to click this. Go back and click and turn it back on. So that's back the way it was. I'll say revert apparently, and it'll revert back to that. Now, and you get the same thing through here by going over here, click the gear icon, you go to software repositories. Okay. And Spiral Linux Wiki, huh? Yeah, so you go here. Yeah, same thing here. Yeah, same thing as what you saw in that one, pretty much. Screen basically uses. Anyway, let's look at that real quick. Now I've introduced the concept, I'll make sure everybody knows how to do it right. So, we'll go to going to that Premiere website, I'm assuming. Documentation. Here's Spiral Linux Wiki. Let's see. Okay. Sam says the proper way is to disable everything in the Debian software and also the first 3 additional repos. Then you can just leave testing and disable enabled. Okay, I'm going to try that and see what happen, huh? Let's see when I disable that. That. Disable that. Disable testing. That's all you have to do, huh? No, I'm not going to do SID down here right now, but I'm just going to testing. And close this out. Reload. Let's see, does your update again, your apt update. And so it'll pop up here, should pop up here in a minute with how many updates you have. Click on the reload button. Here we have some errors up here. Yeah, I can do it that way too, using Synaptic. Let's try that, because it seems to have an error. Oh, it is looking for stuff, so I'm going to take one. Where's Synaptic? It's easier, I think. Synaptic Package Manager, if you never use this, it's pretty neat. to upgrade with. It's just introductory first time. Starting up. And reload. And you mark all upgrades. This be removed. And when you mark it, you apply. And this new patch will be installed. 1391 patch will be upgraded. 13 patch will be removed. That's going to take a while probably. Well, while it's doing that, I can talk about my other thing I want to talk about. So you hit apply, and it takes off and starts doing it. Download package files and all that kind of stuff. So what I want to talk about a bit too is a Debian. Now, some people have, I asked, I call it Secret Agent Debian because it's basically just Debian. And so some people might ask, why then should I use it? Well, for some of the features you've seen we've had on here, package, it's pretty good, that kind of thing. And you get some useful tools and stuff like that, all from Debian. So it's got a lot of stuff in it. You also do stuff like what we're doing here, which is upgrading it to testing. Install things like Nala and stuff like that. So testing is what they call a semi-rolling release Debian-based thing. And yeah, so you get more up-to-date software, more up-to-date everything on it. But you can run into the occasional beta bug. No, that's what it is basically. It's well packaged. It's stuff you won't have too much trouble with, but you could run into some more, like with any software actually, but it's not as tested out as long-term support version is, obviously. Should upgrade the desktop, Budgie desktop to version 10.6. That's cool. So, yeah, and upgrades GNOME to 43 too, I found out. Oh, I had all the other ones checked, so I didn't break, but it ran fine, but at any rate. But what I want to talk about is Debian. A lot of people have Debian. Debian problems or issues. And I think maybe I just was thinking of Debian as, usually when I go on a forum and I say I use this or I use that, I'm just saying because I use it. No, not a combination of anything else. It's what I use. You gotta use something, so or you like this or that, or you like that or that, and then other people seem to take it as saying, I hate these other things over here, I like this. That's not really what I'm saying when I say that. Most people don't really mean that. Yeah. Sam says, so in case of hitting a major bug in testing or unstable, remember that Spiral Linux comes with bootable grub snapshots for rollbacks. As far as I know, it's also on Debian spin with that feature. Now, if I remember right, and I forgot to mention this, because one of the things you get out of when you install this is you get ButterFS, I think. Is right? Am I thinking that correct? Or am I thinking some other distro? Yeah. Yeah, SP says ButterFS. Oh, Joe's asking them that. Yep. Yep. It has ButterFS on, so that means you have automatic. Anytime you update like we're doing right now, Anytime you install new software, stuff like that, it takes a snapshot of what you got, and you, in the boot menu, you should be able to go to an earlier version of it. If you have an update or something that crashes your system, that's what it's saying. So that's cool, because that means you don't have to worry about testing bombing out. You always go back to an earlier version of it and try it again or something like that. Fedora and Gruda also use ButterFS, yes. And Fedora and Gruda also use that. And yeah, it's eventually probably going to be standard because it's so much better than the ext4 version of the file system. But yeah. Sam said actually requires special configuration of the ButterFS sub-buttons and lots of additional plumbing in the distro. Doesn't work out of the box in any distro, even if it had ButterFS. Interesting. I know several distros have used it. Oh. Following changes are found in packages you're about to install. Okay, so it gives you a list of changes it's going to make. Then we were reading this last time. Tell you some of the changes that testing's made. So yeah, these are all things you need to be aware of. You can copy this and paste it or some into a text editor if you want to save it. Let's see what we do that. And then you want to do text editor. Yeah, right there. So if you want to say that and read it all later, all the special stuff, things like that, you could. Close it, it'll continue working on installing stuff. Yeah, you want to save that? I'm not going to save it, but if you want to save it, you can click save here, save it in a file. You have it available. Restart server during page. Yes. Remember that function too. In other words, it's going to do that for every package. I was going to restart the service instead of asking for each individual one. I'm just going to close out. That just proves you can do it. I just hit Control A when it was when a window had focus. It's marked all the things, text, and then I pasted into the copy pasted it into the text editor there. So yeah, as I was saying, Debian. Let's see. Yeah, Debian has a lot of interesting features and options and stuff like that. But at any rate, we're switching this from testing. But yeah, what I was saying was that just because you like something doesn't mean you hate everything else. People get really upset sometimes, or you get the old use what works type meme, which is getting a little tried at times, but I mean, basically it applies to most things. Sometimes people use it when you're just saying in a defensive manner, when you say, well, I really love Linux, man, I want to use it for the rest of my life, that kind of thing, blah, 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 blah. And then they say, well, use what works. Like, don't be pushing this on me. Not really pushing on you. I'm just telling you what I like, type thing. So, yeah. I think Debian is a good distro, obviously, and I think I have it on most of my things, on most of my. Yeah, I thought one time, I think everything I have has Debian on it, pretty much. Although the only one exception, I got Nobara out on the Nobara, which is a Fedora-based distribution, out on my gaming desktop out on the living room. And yeah, I think everything else I'm pretty sure has got Debian on it. Debian this, Debian that. And I thought I hate Arch. I think Arch is a good distro, and it has its uses. You can find pretty much anything you want in the AUR. Yeah. Matter of fact, I got this comment on my 5 reasons many people don't want to use Arch. Because there's another I think it's by OBT channel. We put out 5 reasons why everybody or most people would want to use Arch. And so I said, well, I can think of 5 reasons why people wouldn't want to use Arch. So I put that out there too. Just, just as a thinking about it. One of my few opinion pieces I put out, and I recently had a comment on it. They gave responses, which is cool, and I appreciate it and stuff like that. He basically gave reasons what his solutions to my problems were with Arch. What I said many people would like about Arch. He assumed I didn't like Arch. I think I made it pretty clear on the video that I thought it was a good distro, that kind of thing. I didn't poo-poo it or anything like that. I just said, obviously, I don't even remember all the reasons I gave at the time, but I know one of them was that it requires more maintenance, because it does. I mean, here in moving this testing, I've had to click a few more things than you normally do on Debian, but that's because you're moving to testing distro instead of it's kind of a major shift. So that's why it's updating so many packages and stuff when you do that. At any rate, I think I gave a good response to him, but basically I said, that's your opinion, and I respect it, and I appreciate it, and Arch is a good distro, but many people don't have that opinion. I think a lot of people think that. I mean, the thing they gave was like the diff files. You gotta do differential files on stuff, and I don't know what all those files contain. I didn't update it. I mean, most updates in Debian just, I guess, assume you want a new config file where it comes with the new package, I would think so, but it shows them out there so you can test it out in different ones. And, yeah. Yeah, so Sam says, I actually moved from Gecko Linux rolling, Spiral Linux, OpenSUSE Tumbleweed to Spiral Linux, and I'm pleasantly surprised with how solid it is. Not a lot of updates, but now outdated for my needs. Not outdated for my needs, he says. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'm eager to try the XFC version, see how you put that together and how you made it work so it works out of the box without any problems. And the only thing I like about testing is I like one distro, I can't remember which one it was now. I did a review on it 2 or 3 weeks ago or something like that, where they basically, you can install Nala by temporarily even clicking on testing, adding testing, And you can install them all and you can unclick testing. It's more testing, going totally testing or totally that. That's what I did when I did it on the GNOME version. I installed Nala and it updated a lot more than Nala. It put everything else on there. Yeah, just boring and stays out of your way and lets you get real work done. I think it's one of the reasons I like yeah, I know Flatpaks you can update applications needed to newer versions. So I've used that quite a bit. Especially to get like updated versions of on occasion when I needed OBS. I actually have OBS installed as Flatpak on here, as well as other repositories. Repositories is what I'm using right now because I've had it set up that way, but I'm playing around with teleport and things like that, trying to see if I can get things a little more, quote, professional, unquote, on the Zoom calls and stuff like that. But yeah, I like it boring. So I install Flatpaks on these quite a bit. Yeah, I really like it because I like LibreWolf. As a browser, it's real privacy oriented. It's got a lot of restrictions and keeps you safer, I think, more or less. Some things where you go on like one time I tried to download something on LibreWolf and certain oh it's on Amazon. That's right, I was on Amazon and I was trying to get my book put together. This particular book over here, and try to download copy of stuff on Amazon. It wouldn't work until I went to Google Chrome. When I went to Google Chrome, then I could upload my book manuscript, and the cover artwork. Before that, I couldn't do it on LibreWolf. It just wouldn't work on LibreWolf. So you have to have other browsers around so you can do things like that, stuff like that. If it doesn't like your browser, you can switch the browser and do that. Didn't want to realize that it does that though. Yeah, so this is one way you can update your software just by going there, hit reload and mark all upgrades and apply. And boom. And anybody tell me that? Yeah, Sam says, Rick, did anybody ever tell you that you're the Bob Ross of distro reviewers? So chill and relaxing to listen to, and I really appreciate the kindness and lack of profanity. Well, that's nice. Yeah, let's replace all configuration files. So I think, yeah, I gotta plug in my other mouse on here because apparently it's yeah, I have to plug in the mouse on this one. I was using Barrier and apparently it upgraded or something, so I don't have Barrier working on this anymore. So up there in the comment, let's plug this in real quick. So I can move my mouse. And my keyboard over here, it's a small keyboard. I'll show it to you because anyway. Move this over here though. Okay, replace. And I haven't changed anything in that one. Looks like it's almost updated in software. And it's disconnecting, reconnecting my my Wi-Fi apparently. Probably part of the reason where I had sudden breakage and barrier. Yeah, it keeps disconnecting, reconnecting the Wi-Fi up as it probably updates things, stuff like that. Yeah, it's third-party Wi-Fi link. The Dell didn't come with Wi-Fi out of the box, so I had to put it in the box. Thank you for that comment, Sam. ASMR Linux stream. Wonder what that means. Esmer? ASMR Joseph? Oh, like that. Yeah, I'm kind of slow a bit, but I think a lot of people like that. Some people do, at least. And some people don't just want to get in, get the gist of it, but some people talk so fast I can't hardly. They go so fast I can't really figure out whether I have to stop and pause the video 100 times to hear them. So, yeah, Sam says I recommend keeping the original Pulse Audio config. Thank you. Oh, the config file, when that one pops up, did I blaze through that and replace it? Whoops. Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, I just figure, hey, new tools probably got new configuration settings to apply. So yeah. So yeah, like OBT, I know is also another one that's a little slower, but he gets people comments that people appreciate that to a certain degree. My big deal is trying to talk loudly enough and clearly enough that people can understand what I'm saying half the time. And so sometimes I get mumbly and stuff like that. Hey, successfully applied all changes. You can close window now. Alright. So we'll see what we got. Oops. See if barrier still works over there. Yeah, it does. Okay, I can set that aside then. And more space over here. So we got that. We want to get that up. And let's check your name. Okay, same kernel basically. And update the kernel. Oh well, I probably have to redo a reboot to update the kernel. So we'll do that real quick. And away she goes. And just so you're interested, well, I was too slow on the draw on that one. I'll just show you the other better FS if you wanted to get back to it, what you originally had before. Huh. It started. Need to set this up so it starts right away. Have a simple background, but I want to. It's gonna do this again, huh? It's running. Okay. There we have it. Looks a little interesting. And these are more pronounced. Workspaces more pronounced. And there looks at that. And we'll, yeah. We'll install Nala. Install Nala. And there you go. Install all that stuff. Debian pull from Debian testing. Yeah, putting Nala. You Nala, and you can use let's see, update, I guess. Oh no, sudo Nala. There you go. All packaged up today, it says. Want to install something using Nala? Let's see. Mouse pad. Right there. Right into it. Now let's try this bookworm main. Sudo Nala. Install. Mouse pad. There you go. Yeah, I think macro. Moving stuff there. Yeah, it's got a little more advanced display. Also has those parallel downloads when you run it too. Okay. Yes, there you go. There's where I did. Use that one. Use that one. Oh, 19 kernel. So it goes up to the 19 kernel on that one. That's cool. Alright. Now you're running on 5.19 kernel. Just verify that's the case. Oh. Five point 19. If it's installed on here by default, so you can install it by just sudo. I'll show you some how you can make it faster. I'll install UFetch. See, these are just also you just sudo to estimation points and it automatically runs it. You can do that with most any command though. You can do like other things. Oh, spell it right, it'd help. Neopatch, there you go. So it says we have 1,850 packages installed, 8 flat packs. If you have 8 flat packs too, probably. I don't know. Probably not. Yeah, you flat packs. Update. Nothing to do, it says. So yeah, that's cool. It's got Bungie 10.6.4 on it now. I had 3 point something on before, I think. Something like that. And 873 megabytes. Oh, it's going to be a little higher on Neopatch than it is on HTOP. We did HTOP right now. It'd be 696, just under 700 megabytes. I don't know what the difference is, but yeah. So that's that. Anything else we need to check up on here, Sam, before we say bye-bye to everybody? Yeah. Been about almost 2 hours, so we probably need to shut this down for long. But if there's something else that's important to show on here or something like that, I'll gladly do that. Let's see. Google Rub snapshots. Yeah, I can do that. I roll back into the previous stable system. I actually showed that in this last reboot. At least I went to the screen, but I did to its most recent version. You maybe should have. Yeah. So let's say we broke some on here. I'm going to go back to the previous version. All right. And sudo reboot. Okay. And you go here, I believe. There's spiral snapshots down there. Yeah, see, these are all the updates we've done so far. I'm going to go back to the first version you had. 10.4 is my first install, so I've been using it all week pretty much. Whoops. Okay. Let's go to post pre. Let's see, let's go back to 10, let's say. That was on October 7th. And here's select one of those, I assume. And I'm going to try and select. That's just the selection between 5.10 and your 5.18. We'll pick 5.18. And it'll roll it back to 5.18, which had on November 7th, which was yesterday, actually, before I did the show. Yeah. There will be a grab option for spiraling snapshots. Arrow down to the kernel version you want, and then. So I did that. Oh. Anyway. Password. Yeah. Interesting thing, it kept the same background. Oh, well. You trust fingerprint? Or go back to fingerprints? Yes. So there's how you do it. Kept the same background though, it didn't change that back to what I had. So that's interesting, but otherwise everything else we're back now. Let's check that out and see how it worked. Put my cursor up on there. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Got that. New patch isn't there. No, isn't there. So yeah. Things I had just installed today wasn't on there yesterday. It is on there yesterday. Cool. So, where my key bindings are since I put the 4.7th. So yeah, that's how you switch back to previous version, roll back. If you have a crash some, just go down to the Debian snapshots. The spiral snapshots is listed there. Pick out which one you want to go back to, how far back you want to go. Enter. Pick the kernel you want. Enter. And reboots. Just like that. So that's sweet, especially if you have a problem. Or like a box up testing, I don't have to reinstall the whole system. I just do that. And it works out of the box. Now, I suppose I could go back to the same system if I wanted to, right? I go back to what I had before with testing. So I guess it's all still there, and then just go back and forth if I wanted to. Know why I'd want to, but I would probably. I probably wouldn't. The only thing I do like Nala, and I don't know if that's in the back porch and stuff, but yeah, if I can just enable testing long enough to get Nala on there, it'd be good. Be happy camper. But I suppose you'd probably back porch or something like that, maybe get Nala. I don't know. So anyway, that's about it, I guess, for what we have here. And let me go back here to a full screen of me. Hi. And oh, what happened? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm here still. I'm sounding, but I'm having issues. Apparently, I must have accidentally closed down Zoom. And, interesting. Anyway, I was about to switch over to, let's see if I can get my face on here real quick. Let's see. Alright. Well, it doesn't seem to activate the video cam. So, anyway, I guess you can probably still hear me talking, so I'm just going to say bye. Thanks for showing up, Sam and Joseph. And may Linus Force be with you. Bye.